I call them Norman Rockwell moments, the glimpses I get of small, ordinary scenes as I drive from town to town. They're strewn along country roads and in every town. Even as our rural economy in southeast Kansas has taken its hits recently, I still see hope in the eyes of local people as they go about their lives. I attended a small-town festival the other night in a burg that boasts a population of 87. I saw peaceful folks sitting in lawn chairs in an old schoolyard listening to quiet music played by several local fiddle and guitar players. I saw well-known ranchers serving barbecue and stirring a kettle of stew, and people smiled and joked as they went through the line. Children shrieked as they climbed on two old slides, and townsfolk danced late into the night. I drove to another town the next day and observed young families observing something they called a zombie walk. It benefited their local library, and I was amazed at how much fun they were having together. I took a second glance at 5 Boy Scouts who were proudly getting their picture taken in front of the park gazebo. That photo will outlast all of them, and they will be glad it was taken. In another town, I drove through a park by a river and saw 2 men fishing with their sons. I have no idea if they caught anything, really didn't care. They will never regret spending a Saturday morning baiting hooks and casting lines together. Along a county highway, I saw 2 teenagers riding their horses bareback along a grassy right-of-way. I smiled because I remember many such rides myself. I watched as a downtown merchant swept the sidewalk in front of her shop, smiling, waving at hometown friends. I saw a local doctor give a sharp salute to Old Glory, never knowing he was being observed as he put out his American flag. An elderly lady pulled a little wagon along the downtown sidewalk, carrying jugs of water to several flower boxes that needed drinks. A World War II veteran who was a tail gunner on a B-26 bomber walked slowly by our newspaper office, then stopped and opened our front door. He said, "Did you know the bank is serving popcorn? Isn't that something?" I joined a half-dozen men who stood around the bed of a pickup truck, admiring a trophy deer that had been shot through the heart with an arrow. Early Sunday morning, I heard 2 church bells tolling across town. I wondered to myself if they had an agreement on whose bell rings first, keeping them from clashing. A young father and his daughter played catch in their front yard. A neighbor raked leaves but couldn't keep from stopping to look around to see the seasonal vistas all around him. In 2 different towns, 80 miles apart, I stopped my pickup and rolled down my window to hear high school bands practicing their marching on city streets. I watched with envy as 3 cowboys drove cattle into pasture pens, ready to ship them to market. In a small town, I saw 2 women who went to high school together 50 years ago, taking their daily walk. I saw a small-town policeman changing the tire of a traveler along the highway. I observed several people sitting in coffee shop windows or on their front porches reading our newspaper. I admired a friend en route to her church for private prayers, a routine she follows every day. I saw 2 neighbors talking happily and noticed that their yard signs touted 2 opposing candidates for governor. It feels so good during these days of plant closings, dour economic news, and fears of every ilk to soak in the scenes that made artist Norman Rockwell pull out his brush and memorialize such moments for all to enjoy. Look for them yourself. The curtain goes up as you travel in any direction if you just seize the moments that lace the scenes all together. This is Rudy Taylor.